Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, November 1st, after the Celtics win over the Charlotte Hornets. Got back on track after their first loss of the season. 124-109 win in Charlotte on their first night of a back-to-back at the Spectrum Center. Jayson Tatum led the way in scoring. Jaylen Brown right there with him. And LaMelo Ball tried his best to lift the Hornets on the offensive end, but gave up just as many points on the other end. A win for the Celtics in Charlotte.
We're back, officially back. And would you believe it, Jack? It starts with the equipment manager. They dress to play tonight. They come out, they play well. Nobody should be surprised by this. It's lucky when there's no, wrongdoing on their end. But overall, pretty good bounce back game from the Celtics. You saw a lot of positive things. It was listen, this man Jalen still can't make threes, but it was good to see him confident scoring wise and like being aggressive, getting to his spots and doing the things he does the best. Like that's really what we want to see from him when the three isn't going. If he's still able to create, use his body, get to the rim, really can't complain too much, even though eventually those threes are gonna have to start dropping because it's starting to get a little bit scary. When's the what is he probably like I feel like he's won in his last 20 something threes. He didn't make one
Jalen, yeah,
today.
Jalen's been rough from
0 of
behind the
6 today, 1 of 11, so he's 1 of 17 the last 2 games. Not great, but
not great.
it's give and take because he actually makes free throws now. 9 of 10 today.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take that. Jayson Tatum also made most of his free throws. He got some gimmies at the end because the Hornets imploded. Um, I thought those two, despite Jalen's relative inefficiency, were pretty good at getting inside. Tatum chucked up a few questionable threes in that third quarter, but other than that, like I think both of these guys did a really good job of saying, okay, we know we're dumb against the Pacers, took too many bad threes. Let's get inside. Let's force the issue a little bit. Tatum opened the game by doing that, and Jaylen Brown did it a lot in the second half. So I think both of them played better than their efficiencies say. Jalen had 25, 6, and 5. Jayson had 32, 11, and 3. His turnovers were a little sloppy. He had a rough third quarter. They both had a rough third quarter, but I think they both played pretty well.
Yeah, I think Tatum made shots in big spots in this game. He was another aggressive guy, and when it comes to the stars, if they're not settling and they're electing to get to the basket, not bad. And the efficiency from them, like you mentioned, isn't great. 47% from Tatum, 42% from Jalen. It is what it is. When they still combine for 15 threes, it's not exactly what you want. But from Tatum, he's doing the other things. He's hitting the glass. He had 3 steals in this game. I was pretty happy with what we saw from him in terms of his response. He made a couple threes. Like, he looked comfortable shooting them again. He was taking the good ones. You didn't see as much of the nonsense from him today. Pretty good.
For sure. Definitely. Derek White wasn't very efficient in this game, but I thought he was a lot better than the efficiency showed. I think he was
I agree.
pretty good with the ball in his hands. He was 6 of 16, 3 of 10. I think a lot of those misses came at the end of the game when he just had a few bad breaks. He had 5 assists, which tied for the team high with Jalen. Obviously, he had that nice block on Grant and got to the line right after in a spot where it felt like the Celtics were reeling a bit. So I just feel like the efficiency for everyone on the Celtics doesn't really encapsulate how impactful they were. Drew too. He was 5 of 12, but he was 3 of 6 from 3, and I felt like he was making shots in big spots for him. So I think both of the guards, despite shooting a combined 11 of 28, had pretty good games, despite what the number might say.
Yeah, there was a point in this game where I'm watching Derek White play, and I'm like, huh. He might be the second best guy on this team offensively some nights. I don't know what it was that I was seeing from him when he's 6 of 16, but it just looked like he was really confident with the ball, and we saw hints of that in the
Yes.
preseason where it was like, "Oh, he's really being aggressive and trying to create for himself, and he's not sloppy with it. He always seems pretty under control." There are a couple bad misses at the rim late in the game, I guess. Like, he drove and, like, didn't even get anything, he just threw it off the backboard, and it ended up being a Hornets rebound. As for Drew, the missed dunk was tough. I had PTSD to
That was
last year's
bad.
game when they collapsed in the last 4 minutes or so, and he missed a dunk in that sequence instead of just trying to kinda take the clock out and milk it. PTSD, but He did make the big threes in this one. I'm happy to see his stroke coming back a bit because he'd been a bit cold. And for the Celtics to be at their best, him and Derek have to be knocking everything down. It's just pretty much their job. Be ready, catch and shoot, create when you have to, be a distributor when you have to, and defend. And when it comes to those things, they were there tonight. Derek with a pair of stocks, stealing a block, Drew with a steal. I like what we're seeing from them. They're playing as a team pretty well. There were some times in this game where you're looking up and you're like, well, the defense isn't quite there, is it? The rotations in the first half were fucking brutal. They were leaving guys on the perimeter.
Yeah. It was a woefully inconsistent defensive performance. I don't think it's anything necessarily that you need to get worried about yet or people need to get worried about yet. Celtics defense hasn't been great this year. It hasn't looked like what it was last year. They've been a bit sloppy, a little bit slow, a little bit inconsistent in the paint. And that continued in this one. It just felt like they were letting the Hornets get to their spots too easily, getting too many open catch and shoot threes. LaMelo made a few crazy ones, like those are what they are. But there was also one possession in the third quarter where they just got like a million offensive rebounds. You could just be like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, they had 5 on the same possession, and Trey Man was getting through Neemi. It was like, be serious, please.
Not great. The defense definitely left something to be desired in this game. There were possessions where they locked in, right? Like you could see what it looked like when the Celtics played great defense. They had a 24-second violation mixed in there. So it's clear they can be a great defensive team, and I still think they are. But it was definitely a bit wishy-washy at times. Cornette and Neemi, pretty damn good. Neemi especially,
real
but
good. Yeah.
Neemi had 12. 6 and 2. His first into the game was kind of rocky. Like he seemed a little bit off. And then every time after, he was just rock solid. Big body around the rim, killing the offensive glass, made every shot. He was 6-6. Luke Cornette, I thought was pretty impactful too in that first half. I thought he was good, but you could just tell the difference when Neemi came in the game. He's doing a lot better job not fouling. He only had 2 in this game, which is not bad for him. Just another great Neemi game, second in a row.
It's good. When guys play with confidence, it really shows. Peyton Pritchard for the last week, very confident. Tonight, struggled. Neemi, sounds like he caught that confidence. He's all over the offensive glass. He's making big plays. He's finishing around the rim. Didn't miss today. A lot of dunks, but he still didn't miss. Someone who's notorious for missing them right at the rim. Big dunk over Miles Bridges. Jack did a fist pump for sure, as did the rest of us.
I wrote it in my article.
Did you? Neemi delivers the hammer of justice.
I said also Queta's monster slam in the fourth quarter was incredible, especially considering the player he dunked on.
Respect. Man, I'm so happy with what we've seen from Neemi because the two of us had written him off as dead a little bit. We were like, with Luke, is it really someone you need to be giving minutes to when Luke is always the vanilla ice cream? You can rely on him. He's going to be there. He's going to give you the solid paint presence. He's going to be reliable, where Neemi's more of a wild card. And we've seen what happens when the wild card is an ace in these last 2 games. He has been a game changer for Boston. Once again today, just double digits in points all over the place. Loved it from him. Happy to see him thriving.
Definitely, yeah. Like you mentioned, Peyton Pritchard was off. Nothing wrong with his confidence, just to clarify. Just didn't make a lot of his shots. Didn't make any of them.
5 the only 3, very rare.
Yeah. Only shot he made was that end of the shot clock fall away mid-range bullshit he had to take. He was fine. He had 5 assists still, five steals. Oh my God, he had 5 steals. He had 3 rebounds. I thought his defense was actually pretty good outside of that like 5-minute stretch in the third quarter where Trey Man just like killed him. But I thought he did a pretty good job of keeping up. Other than that, just an off night from Pritchard. Not worried. I do like that he is getting starter-esque minutes, giving Drew a little bit of a rest. Like Peyton Pritchard has effectively been their 6th starter this season in terms of minutes. Sam Hauser was fine, made a couple of big shots, was really a menace on the glass. He helped their defensive rebounding a lot when he was in the game, I thought. And then Jordan Walsh made both his threes. He looked confident. It was fun.
Big Walshy game. I know Jake's gonna be pumped when you talk to him in a couple minutes. Anytime we get some Walshy buckets, I think everybody wins. It's good to see that from him. he looked confident shooting the ball. He didn't look hesitant. Even the third one he did miss, he was ready to shoot it. Obviously, I mean, I guess if you make your first two, you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Pass it to me if I'm open. But I'm happy to see that from him because that's the biggest question mark when it comes to his game. He can defend. We know he can defend. He's got the length for it. He probably could put on a couple pounds just to give him a bit of extra strength. But where he really needs to grow as a player to get real minutes is the shooting. If you're going to play for the Celtics, you have to be able to knock them down. When you get them in this game, it was important too because in the first half they kind of needed all the points they could get to stay ahead of Charlotte. I'm happy he was out there. He got the opportunity. And circling back to Drew in the Pritchard saga in this, I wouldn't be shocked if Drew doesn't play tomorrow. Just having it be a back to back.
Yeah.
I know they do plan to be a little bit more careful with him this year, similar to how they treat Horford. So if that's the case and Drew doesn't play, I think Pritchard getting the start is one, deserved, two, probably appropriate in terms of his confidence, his level of play, and his preparedness to step into the role. Because right now, even though the shots didn't fall today, you know he believes in himself. He's ready to go, and he's seen it go in. What did they say? He had a record 22 through 4 games. That's how many threes he's made. The guy just feed him. If he's in the starting lineup, even though traditionally when he starts along like the rest of the regular starters, he doesn't really play great. I think he's going to be ready. This is like Pritchard time. He is like peaking at the perfect moment.
Yeah, Pritchard, out despite his poor shooting performance tonight, has been a monster this year. I stand on what I said before the season even started. I think he could win Sixth Man of the Year. So I look forward to that. It was weird. Not even weird. This game was marred by a wild series of events late in the fourth quarter. Like the Hornets just combusted. We can start with Grant Williams, who just completely bowled over Jayson Tatum at half court for seemingly no reason. It was the equivalent of Nikola Jokic and Markieff Morris's spat X amount of years ago, where they ran each other over. Grant got ejected for it. Tatum was, I mean, he stood himself up. He didn't get in anybody's face. It was what it was. Jalen was pissed.
Yeah.
It just like why? Like I don't get it. Like why did he do that?
It's just probably the heat of the game. I don't know. I think people from other teams might tell you that Grant's a dirty player. I think we were kind of in his corner for 4 years and we probably turned a blind eye to some of it. He's definitely like a physical type. He wants to create a little bit of chaos. He has like the rivalry with the Jays where he's the little brother and he's always going to be up to some mischief. And listen, you don't want to see him trying to hurt Tatum. That's for sure. I don't think he would have tried to hurt Tatum on purpose. I think they're pretty cool. Tatum put Grant in his children's book. I don't think that happens unless they're cool with each other. It is interesting though. I was talking to my girlfriend about this as like the game ended, and she was like, "It's so lame that they're there again tomorrow from like an entertainment value." I'm like, "Well, not when 3 guys get ejected. Not that lame. Not that lame."
Now it'll be interesting. Derek White even used some colorful language after the game. Well, I'll say Derek White's version of colorful language. He said that was BS, which is I think the closest we'll get.
He said BS.
Swearing.
He didn't even say bullshit. He said BS.
I just see BS on. I don't have the clip. I'm just reading what I see on Twitter. Let me see. Yeah, that stuff at the end was BS. So I don't know if that is he said bullshit or he did that. Joe Mazzulla said I'm glad that he's fine, like talking about Tatum. What I like most is that he jumped right up, didn't lay around, didn't really phase. I'm happy he's okay. I just like the way JT handled it. So it sounds like he was not wanting to comment on the foul and just more focused on how JT handled it. And to his point, JT did handle it well. I do think he handled it.
He usually does.
Good. Yeah, it's true. I did like Mazzulla getting fired up and getting a tech in this game, though. That was fun. When Neemias Queta got called for
yet?
I don't think so, not that I see. But he got a that was a bogus call on Neemi too. Josh Green just like ran into him and like moved him, and Neemi got called for the foul. And Joe Mazzulla was fucking furious.
Which doesn't happen. He's so like calm is like the wrong word for Joe, but he's usually so contained where you're not going to see him get mad at anybody or the refs, even though like he did say in the press conference, I think it was after the Milwaukee game, that he enjoys yelling at the refs. I guess we got to see that was true today. Charles Lee also got a tech. Shout out.
He did.
Respect.
I didn't see exactly what happened. I don't think the broadcast showed it, but his seemed like a softer tech for sure because it was out of nowhere. I don't know. What else were there? LaMelo had the flagrant whatever on
Yeah, he pulled
Tatum.
Cornet.
That
Well,
was
that
worse.
wasn't even
That
the
should have been a
flagrant.
flagrant.
That should have been the
Exactly.
flagrant. He had the
That
stupid
was
underneath his
yeah.
foot flagrant, which is whatever. It's the rule. I
That
understand why it's the rule, but the Luke thing
that was
was
dangerous.
kind of funny because Luke got up after and was like, "Oh, is my jersey good?"
Well, that's like a legitimately dangerous play. Like he could have hurt Cornet by dragging him down by his chest. Like that was a bogus play for sure. And then Miles Bridges got ejected for punching the ball. James Williams was on one. He was just like, you get attacked, you get attacked. He was fucking Oprah. What else happened? Trey Man looks real good. He looks real
Trey
good.
Man is the guy on 2K that makes his player AI and plays my career because he wants to have an AI build for the park. That's literally what he is.
He was good though.
He was excellent.
I mean,
he was good.
exactly.
But it is funny, like even the uniform, like he has the baggy shorts, loose jersey, headband, tattoos, all of it. He literally looks like he made a my player to look like AI so he could play park and dress him up like AI.
Mm-hmm. I think that just about covers it. Fine win, kind of a weird, ugly-ish win. They didn't shoot particularly well from three. I think they did a good job of getting inside, but the defense really, like we talked about, just it left a lot to be desired for me in this game. And I do think there is a point to be made that the Hornets are just a pretty good offensive team. LaMelo's a good offensive player. Trey Man's obviously a bucket, and I think Charles Lee has them playing in a Celtics-esque style where they took 48 threes. And I mean, Tijan Salon made 3 of them, and that guy gets more fired up after a free 3 than anybody I've ever seen. Did you see him? Were you watching like that?
I didn't see. Oh, the dude on the Hornets
rookie
that I can't pronounce his name. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
he made a 3.
was
He
fired
go,
up. He made some big ones. I was
like,
watching the fourth quarter. I was like, what is going on here? Who is this? Why is he making shots against my team?
I think it is Tijan Salon. Tijan
Pretty
Salon.
cool.
I don't know.
Rhyme name.
Especially considering there's no O's in his name. So to be called Tijan Salon with no, I don't know. Good game though. Nice win. I think Derek White should have the ball in the fourth quarter at all times. I stand on that. I think I said that last year, and
it's clutch.
He didn't make his shots in this one, but he's so good with the ball that
it's the under control thing. That's what it is.
100%.
You know, if he has the ball, the team is going to get a good shot in that possession. You don't really have to worry about Derek White going, watch this, and then taking the shot that makes you want to like put your head in the microwave. It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts on this one before we get on out of here?
Let's do it again tomorrow.
All righty. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know about your thoughts down below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of this game. Jack and I are here every single day, so hit the bell. You won't miss any of our full-length pods dropping Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps like this one the morning after each game, other videos in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there for you, so if you just want the audio versions, all you have to do is follow. It will go right to your feed. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. You know you got something to say about Grant. hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack Twitter is at Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.